strikes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watch, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare of bursting air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, as we set for another beautiful night of baseball here. I'm Red Tracy bringing you the action as the St. Joe Mustangs get set to take on the North Kansas City Apartments. It's a very interesting name and be able to hopefully say that one all night, so that'll be fun. Mustangs coming out of a loss yesterday, going down to Joplin, ended up losing that one 4-0. So they go to 19-8 on the season, 13-7 in league play. Still have a one-game lead over Chillicothe in the North Division of the Mink League. So looking to go to 20-8 on the season so far this year. We played the Apartments last week and ended up getting a win in that one. So looking to do the same here tonight as we have the starting lineup for the Apartments. Batting first, number 1, Pat Burns. Batting second, number 22, Connor Arcabasso. Batting third, number 30, Matt Stacks. Batting fourth, number 25, Blake Peterson. Batting fifth, number 3, Tim Mahoney. Batting sixth, number 4, Jacob Dowell. Batting seventh, number 5, Zach Roberts. Batting eighth, number 18, Jake Baker. And batting ninth, number 8, Ethan Smith for the Apartments. We'll head around the field for the Mustangs here and start with the outfield. From left to right, we have Kyle Richards, Ryan Abernathy, and Zach Johnson. On the left side of the infield, we have Josh Cassidy at third and Matthew Johnson at short. Right side, we have Eric Wilcoxon at second, Joe Corpers at first. Behind the dish is Nick Sebastian and Jeremiah Figueroa, your starting pitcher for the Mustangs tonight. See, Figueroa comes in at a 2-1 record, has started 4 games so far this year, has 6 strikeouts on the season, a 4.4 ERA. So we'll see what he can do here tonight against the Apartments as we're just about ready to start action with Pat Burns stepping into the box. Play ball. There we go. Figueroa steps on the mound. We're ready for action. As Burns watches one hit the outside corner from Figueroa for strike number 1. Figueroa deals just high, bring it to 1-1. Pretty good crowd out here tonight for a Friday night. See, it's kind of cloudy. Unfortunately, the sun not shining, so maybe that's keeping a few people away, but plenty of fans still out here to cheer on the Mustangs. We have a line drive into right field. Johnson heads over and makes the diving catch for the first out in the game. A beautiful play by Zach Johnson in right field. As that one was almost just out of his reach, but he makes a nice little dive and comes up with the ball to put the first out of the game away and bring up the Apartments left fielder Connor Arcabasso to the plate. Figueroa deals and strike number one on Arcabasso. Figueroa now set to deal. He throws just a bit low on that one. Brings the count to 1-1 now. So we have another little blooper into the first baseman there, Joe Corper, able to make the grab. A little can of corn for Corper there, ends up getting it for the second out of the game. That brings up the designated hitter for the Apartments, Matt Stacks. Matt Stacks, actually a buddy of mine. Actually, I went to high school with him, ended up in the same graduating class in 2010. He was, plays for, I believe, Southeast Missouri State. It's either Southeast Missouri State or Missouri State is where he goes. But now playing this summer with the North Kansas City Apartments. He watches strike one go by. Watches ball one there. Brings it to a 1-1 count. Figueroa missing there on the outside. Brings it to 2-1. So we have fans still filing in a little bit for Dollar Beer Night at Phil Welch Stadium, everybody's favorite. As the count moves to 3-1 now. I feel like Dollar Beer Night's only second favorite to every Saturday night with the fireworks. Always putting on a good show. As there's a walk for Stacks by Figueroa, and ends up bringing up the first baseman for the Apartments, Blake Peterson, to the plate.
First baseman, Blake Peterson.
Figueroa now set to deal here. Stacks taking a little bit of a lead off first there. Brings it to a 1-0 count. Watches strike one go by. Brings it to 1-1. Still two away here in the top half of the first. Figueroa hits it on a nice fastball. Brings it to 1-2. One in the dirt. Stacks just thinks about taking off. Does not go. Heads on back to first as Sebastian was able to drop down and block that one. Keep it in front of him. He evens the count now at 2-2. The Stacks takes off and a throw from Sebastian. Wilcoxon covering and out at second base for the final out in the inning as Sebastian throws out Stacks heading over to second base. There's a final out in the inning. The Apartment's not able to put any on the board, so we head to the bottom of the first, still knotted up at nothing, and see what the Mustangs can do. It's talent night. Mustangs got talent. I am not a me. Are you not entertained? We're back here in the bottom half of the first innings. The Mustangs head up to the plate with Eric Wilcox, the second baseman, leading things off. And then batting second, the left fielder Kyle Richards. Batting third, the center fielder Ryan Abernathy. Batting fourth, the first baseman Joe Corper. Batting fifth, the designated hitter tonight, Mike Sherburne. Batting sixth, the right fielder Zach Johnson. Batting seventh, the catcher Nick Sebastian. Batting eighth, the third baseman Josh Cassidy, and batting ninth, the shortstop Matthew Johnson. The starter tonight for the Apartments is Alex Merrithew, right-hander. You figure Wilcoxon has the advantage in this one as he is the left-handed batter. Watches ball number one go by. Tonight is actually Mustangs Got Talent night, so there's a talent show in between all the innings. Their performance each time. There's a ground ball over to second baseman Burns, scoops it up, throws on over to Peterson at first for the first out in the inning. That brings up the left fielder Kyle Richards to the plate. As I was saying, we'll be sure to zoom in on the talent show portion of the evening as well in between each half inning. The judges are the main press box people, so we'll see what they choose tonight. I believe there's 10 participants in our talent show. So there should be some between inning entertainment for not only the fans here, but the fans watching at home. So we have a high drive into center field. Center fielder Roberts heads back, makes the grab for the second out here in the first inning. And now the Mustang center fielder Ryan Abernathy heads up to the plate. Abernathy, statistically the best hitter on this team. He started off the season with a .394 average through 20 games played so far. He's got 18 RBIs and also 10 stolen bases to couple that as he grounds one over to the shortstop Smith, scoops it up, makes that sliding stop, throws one over to Peterson at first for the final out here in the inning. Mustangs go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the first, so we'll head into the top of the second, knotted up at zeros. And we're back here at Phil Welch Stadium as we head into the top half of the second inning. Nothing after one. And the Apartments send up again Blake Peterson to the mound. Or not to the mound, to the plate. Figueroa is still on the mound. As Peterson heads up, he was the last batter in the first inning, but Matt Stacks ended up getting thrown out second for the final out. So Peterson back at the plate in this one. So an unconventional way, but the Apartments did go down 1-2-3 technically in the first inning. So looking for more of the same as Figueroa just about set to deal. playing one of my favorite songs, Wild Wild West by Will Smith. Always a fan as we have a high fly ball into right field. Johnson settling under it. Makes the catch for the first out here in the second inning. Now the Apartment's third baseman, Tim Mahoney, comes to the plate. So the first talent we saw tonight was a dancer doing a little routine in between the top and bottom of the first, and then after the first inning we saw the Mustangs drum line, Mustangs Stampede. I don't know if they're part of the talent show. I believe they are, so 2 good acts down. We'll see what the rest hold. As we had a bunt attempt, pulled it back there. Now a swing and a miss there from Mahoney brings it to an 0-2 count now. Figueroa deals just outside there, bringing it to 1-2. Not really a hot one tonight, but it's quite sticky as the humidity is very high. A lot of the fans cool themselves off with complimentary fans that were given out sometime, but I believe before the game. Got an even count now at 2-2 as Figueroa deals here. Just missing the outside corner. Brings it to a full count now on Mahoney. As he hits the outside corner for strike 3. Beautiful little fastball by Figueroa as he caught Mahoney looking. So there's 2 down here in the second inning now, and the Apartment's right fielder Jacob Dowell coming to the plate. The swing and a miss. Oh, just kidding. I was looking at the stat sheet and I missed that pitch, but apparently it was a foul ball. Sometimes they even catch me off guard. So it's an 0-1 count now on Dowell. He deals one high there. Dowell has to duck out of the way of that one, brings it to a 1-1 count. Throws one high there yet again. Brings it to a 2-1 count. Seems to be a bit of a repeat from the first innings. We had 2 quick outs and then a little trouble with the third batter. Ended up walking the third batter in the first inning. Let's see what he does here as he hits the outside corner. Nice breaking pitch. Brings it to an even count now at 2-2. The ball right back up the middle. Wilcoxon not able to make the grab on that one. Hops right under his glove, and we have the first base hit of this ball game as Jacob Dowell gets on with a single there and brings up the center fielder for the Apartments, Zach Roberts, to the plate. Figueroa deals just low there for ball number 1. The fly ball down the right field line ends up going into the parking lot, I believe. So that brings it to a 1-1 count now. The runner takes off for second. Sebastian throws on down. Wilcoxon there, not able to make the dig on that one, so not in time is the tag, and that puts a runner on second base now with that stolen one. The throw was definitely in time, but a little short hop on Wilcoxon covering the bag, but he was not able to grab it. So runner on second, 2 away here in the top of the second. The swing and a foul tip. Just barely nicked the bat on that one. So that keeps the count at 2-2. As we got a foul ball right back into the netting. Keeps the count at 2-2 on Roberts here. Figueroa sets. Throws one in the dirt. The runner takes off for third base. The throw in time. The tag not in time, says the umpire, as he is safe at third base on a ball in the dirt that Sebastian was able to block, but not able to grab a hold of in time. So that brings it to a full count now as manager Matt Johnson goes out to contest this call a little bit. Matt Johnson having a little chat with the umpire there at the second base bag and see what kind of call he had there at third. So we have a quick meeting, so apparently the explanation was satisfactory to Johnson's standards. So we'll head back to the dugout. Johnson steps in the dugout. We're now ready to resume play after that little argument. Got a full count and a high fly ball down the first base line. Corper settling under it, makes the grab for out number 3. So the apartment's able to get a runner all the way around to third base, but not able to do anything as Roberts flies out to Corper there. So still knotted up at zeros, and we'll head into the bottom half of the second, see if the Mustangs can't put something on the board. How many guys are just sitting there videotaping this? Yeah. No, come show me that later. Still at 12 viewers tonight. Who's coming up for the Mustangs? At least. Preferably more than 3 hitters. God, it is. He's the second boss. The real boss is somewhere. Dan. Did he? He might be in the street. Did he? Is it looking good now? I don't know. We're back with you here at Phil Wells Stadium. We head into the bottom half of the second inning. Still knotted up at zeros as the apartments weren't able to do anything in the top half of the second. We'll see if the Mustangs can as they send the first baseman Joe Corper to the plate. Corper's picked it up as of late. He's hitting .298 now on the season through 23 games, has 9 RBIs in this short season, 18 runs scored for the Mustangs. It's actually the most on the team. So apparently if he gets on base, he's coming around to score, so that's something you definitely looking for here. See if we can't get the leadoff man on. Have him come on around, score the first run of this game. So you watch his strike number 1 go by. The talent in between innings for this half inning was a hula hoop girl. She had a nice performance, I would say. It was fun to watch. We'll see what the judges have to say as we have a line drive right back at the pitcher. He hits off his glove, bounces over to second base. Burns not able to handle it. So that puts Corper on first. So I don't know if we'll call that one. That's a rule to hit. Probably the right call in my mind, as that was a tough line drive. Always tough for a pitcher to handle that kind of line drive. And then second baseman's not really looking for something like that. So rule to hit. So Corper with the first Mustangs hit of the game as they send up the designated hitter tonight, Mike Sherburne. Interesting spot for him, as I have yet to see him as a designated hitter. Usually that's Andrew Standifer. And Sherburne's usually in the outfield, but tonight Standifer getting the night off, so Sherburne takes over the DH spot as he watches strike number 1 go by there. This is a line drive into right center field. Right fielder moves over, makes the grab for the first out in the inning as Corper heads on back over to first. And the Mustangs right fielder, Zach Johnson, comes to the plate. Johnson played in 22 games so far this year for a .244 average. Got 19 hits and 78 at-bats. He also has 15 RBIs on the season. The second most on the Mustangs team. So see if Corper can't move into scoring position. See if Johnson can't drive him in. As Corper takes off for second base. Down goes the throw, and out at second base as Corper, as he was not able to slide underneath that tag. So there's the second out in the inning here. That was a ball almost in the dirt on Johnson, so count it 1-0. So we have a foul ball, brings it to a 1-1 count now. Johnson wants his ball to hit the dirt there for a 2-1 count. Johnson watches ball 3 go by there, brings us to a 3-1 count on him now. See if we can't get a bit of a 2-out rally going here. That's something the Mustangs have been known to do so far this year. There's a grounder, a little chopper right over to the shortstop. Smith able to handle it. Throws over to Peterson at first, and safe at first as the throw pulled the first baseman Peterson off the bag. He tried to make a swiping tag on Johnson going by and not able to do it in time. So that puts another runner on the base paths for the Mustang. Unfortunately, Corper was thrown out at second base during Johnson's at bat. So instead of 2 runners on, we have one runner on first base, and the catcher Nick Sebastian coming up to the plate. Sebastian is still fairly new to the Mustangs organization, but does seem to be becoming the everyday catcher almost, as he's played last night and now playing tonight. Only played in 2 games so far. He's gone 1 for 7 on the season. As Sebastian watched ball number 1 go by there. Matthew checks on the runner at first base, but back in time is Johnson. Johnson taking a big lead off of first, but a swing and a miss by Sebastian there. So we have a 1-1 count on Sebastian now. The pitcher Marathew checks on, or not checks on, but looks over at Johnson at first base. As he just misses outside, brings it to a 2-1 count. A swing and a miss there by Sebastian brings it to an even count now at 2-2. As Marathew checks on Johnson at first, but back in time yet again is Johnson. Johnson taking off for second, and a ground ball over to the left side of the infield. Third baseman Mahoney able to slide in front of it, make the grab over to Peterson at first for the final out here in the inning. Still knotted up at zeros as we're through 2 innings now, and we'll see what the Apartments can do in the top half of the third. Come on. No, go over here. Go over there. Oh, she's coming. Come on. Come on. Yeah. She's roping. Woo! Cowgirl! Oh, boo. This has to be hard. Because she's like being on top of a horse and moving the rope in the little calf. Do it! Oh, come on. We don't have much time. Hey, where'd my mom go? Oh, it's gotta go. Oh! You get booed. Don't boo her, guys. Come on. You can't leave that. Don't boo, guys. Come on. That's not nice. Guys, that's not nice to boo. We're back here in the top half of the third inning, still not up at zeros after 2. The Apartments and catcher Jake Baker to the plate. Figueroa still on the hill for the Mustangs. He's gone through 2 innings so far, allowing just 1 hit. So a decent start to the game for him. He's now set and deals just low there for ball number 1. The talent we had before the third inning now was the cowgirl, I guess we'll call her, as she tried to rope an intern. Wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. But still a fun time. She gave it her best, so that's all we're really asking for. As we move to a 1-1 count now. A foul ball over towards the Mustangs dugout. Brings it to 1-2. Is Baker able to check his swing on that one and a ball in the dirt? Check down to the first base umpire, and Baker did not go, he says. So it brings it to 2-2. There's strike 3, a beautiful pitch by Figueroa to get the first out here in this inning as he catches Baker, the bat on his shoulder. And now the Apartments shortstop, Ethan Smith, comes up to the plate. Jake Baker was actually the Taco Bell K-Man of the night, so 100 lucky fans get some tacos after that strikeout, so I'm pretty sure everybody's happy about that. Figueroa now deals and just misses the outside corner there for ball number 2. Brings the count to 2-0. Figueroa deals and fouls one. Does Smith off into the parking lot. Hopefully my car is safe out there, because you never really know. That's why I have insurance. Hopefully they'll cover it if anything does happen out here. That brings it to a 2-1 count. He looks to lay down a bunt there, but pulls it back. Brings it to a 3-1 count. Figueroa just missing on the outside with that one. See if he can't get Smith here, but deals one high as Smith watches for ball number 4. Figueroa's second walk of this ball game. We head back to the top of the lineup with the apartment's second baseman, Pat Burns, coming to the plate. Burns 0 for 1 on the night as he flew out to Johnson in right field when Johnson made that fantastic diving catch towards the foul line in right field to get Burns out. As he fouls one onto the roof here for an 0-1 count. Figueroa checks on the runner at first base, but back in time is Smith. His runner takes off for second base. Burns puts a swing on it and flies it into right field. Johnson under it, grabs it, throws over to first base, and doubles off the runner at first base as he made it all the way to second, but did not know it was a shallow fly ball in right field. So a little 9-3 double play there for the Mustangs, and we head into the bottom half of the third inning, see if the Mustangs can't break this 0-0 tie. We're back here. We head to the bottom half of the third inning, still knotted up at 0 as the Mustangs send third baseman Josh Cassidy to the plate. Cassidy's first plate appearance so far in this game. As he swings at strike number 1 there. Cassidy played in 14 games so far this year. He's gone 8 for 32 for a .250 average. Has an RBI and a few stolen bases so far on the year. He fouls one down off the plate there, brings it to an 0-2 count. Matthew delivers to Cassidy here and just misses high there. Brings it to a 1-2 count now. Matthew delivers here. A swing and a miss by Cassidy for strike number 3. Matthew sets him down swing and brings up the Mustangs shortstop Matthew Johnson to the plate. Johnson struggled so far in the season so far. He's played in 15 games, gone just 4 for 43 for a .093 average. So he chops one over to the shortstop Smith. Smith picks it up, throws on over, pulls the first baseman jumping into the air there, but he's able to step on the bag before Johnson crosses for the second out here in the inning. We head back to the top of the Mustangs lineup with second baseman Eric Wilcoxon coming to the plate. Wilcoxon 0 for 1 on the night as he grounded out to the apartment's second baseman Pat Burns. Watches ball 1 low there. Watches ball number 2 low and in the dirt there. As I said, we have a lot of fun talents for you tonight, and we tried to have one in between the top and the bottom in this inning. But unfortunately, the music was unable to go, so the dance troupe was not able to perform. Still got an ovation walking off the field, so you never know if they'll come back out again to some new music. So we have a 3-1 count now on Wilcoxon, the batter. So you watch as strike number 2 brings it to a full count now. A swing and a miss by Wilcoxon for strike number 3 as the Mustangs go down in order here to end the third inning. So we're still knotted up at zeros after 3 innings. We'll head to the top of the 4th and see what the apartments can do. No, that was after like a couple innings and it heated up again. I like being a polar bear, okay? We're back here in the top half of the 4th inning. The apartment's coming up to bat with the left fielder Connor Arcabasso coming to the plate. I do apologize if I missay that name anytime tonight, as it's kind of tough to do, but stick with me on it, and I'm sure I'll get it eventually. Figueroa is still on the hill for the Mustangs. He deals strike number 1, hitting the outside corner on a nice little breaking piece by Figueroa. Arcabasso 0 for 1 on the night as he had that little blooper up to Joe Corper for the second out in the first inning. There's ball one hitting the dirt there from Figueroa. A lot of fun things happening here at Phil Welch, and the Mustangs got talent portion of the game tonight as the bat goes flying on that one. A foul ball into the parking lot, bringing it to a 1-2 count. Arcavasso gets his bat back and ready for play again. In between the third and fourth innings, we had a little dancing duet out there. Crowd seemed to really enjoy that one, but it's all up to the press box people. As we have a ground ball over to Wilcoxon, picks it up, throws it on to Corper at first for the first out here in the fourth inning. And the Apartment's designated hitter, Matt Stacks, coming to the plate. Stacks has one plate appearance on the night as he came up in the first inning, ended up walking and then getting thrown out on a steal attempt to second base for the final out there in the first inning. So we have a ground ball over to Wilcoxon, chopped off the infield grass there and over his head as he leaps up on a tough ground ball. Unfortunately, Mustangs caught a bad break with the ball catching the lip of the infield grass on that one. So Stacks on first base now with the Apartment's first baseman Blake Peterson coming to the plate. As Peterson watches ball one go by, brings it to a 1-0 count. Stacks thought about taking off for a second, but stays put at first base as Peterson watches ball two go by. As there's strike number one on Peterson, bringing it to a 2-1 count. One away here and a runner on first. As Figueroa hits the inside corner with a nice fastball there, evens the count at twos. See what Figueroa can do here on Peterson as Peterson watches strike number three go by for the second out here in the inning. As Figueroa again catching his third strikeout of the night, catching the third batter looking for his third strikeout of the night. Apparently dealing something nasty that these batters don't really know what to expect as the third baseman for the Apartments, Tim Mahoney, comes to the plate. Let's see if we can't get more of the same out of Figueroa. So we have a fly ball into left field. Richards settling under it, makes the grab for the final out here in the inning. And after 3.5 here played at Phil Welch, we're still knotted up at zeros, and we'll see what the Mustangs can do in the bottom half of the fourth. All right, we're back here in the bottom half of the fourth inning at Phil Welch Stadium as we have a nothing tie with the Mustangs sending up left fielder Kyle Richards to the plate.
It's working.
As Marathew now set to deliver here. Just missing there for ball number one, brings to 1-0. Richards 0 for 1 on the night as he flew out to the center fielder Roberts back in the first inning. Richards watches ball two go by there, brings it to 2-0 now. The ground ball over to the shortstop Smith, able to make a sliding stop on the play, but bobbles the attempt to throw, so no throw attempt there as Smith makes a bit of an error. We'll see what that's ruled as. That was kind of a tough play. They ruled it as a hit, so there's a single for Kyle Richards, puts him on first base as we have the center fielder Ryan Abernathy coming to the plate. Abernathy 0 for 1 of the night. He has a ground out to the shortstop Smith to finish off that first inning. Almost having overthrow there. Abernathy watched ball one go by there, so we got a 1-0 count on Abernathy. This Marathew checks on Richards over at first base, but back in time is Richards. We have a ground ball down the third baseline. Third baseman Mahoney able to make the stop, bobs a little bit, so not able to attempt a double play, but does get Abernathy at first base. So that puts Richards on second base now with the first baseman Joe Corper coming to the plate. Corper sits at 1 for 1 on the night as he singled to lead off the second inning, but ended up getting thrown out at second base on a steal attempt. As the umpire calls time. Marathew might have been taking a little long for Corper's liking, so he might have called time on that one. Got to reset things. So we have Corper foul one off into the parking lot. As I said, we have Mustangs Got Talent all night tonight in between, or the last act we just had, between the top and the bottom half of this inning. We had the dance troupe that had technical difficulties with their song the last time they tried and ended up having a good ovation after they walked off after their second attempt. So we'll see what the judges have to say about that one. We have a chopper over to second base there. Burns able to make the play on a little short hopper for the second out here in the inning. That moves Richards over to third base on the play. So we'll see if Mike Sherburne can't drive him in for the first run of this ball game. Sherburne is 0 for 1 on the night as he had a fly out to the right fielder Dowell back in the second inning. So he watches ball one go by. Mustangs offense having a tough time getting going this week as they have not been able to put up a run in their last 2 games. We have a ground ball down the third base side, but foul. Bring it to a 1-1 count. As I said, they lost on Wednesday night to the KC Monarchs 3-0. Lost last night down in Joplin 4-0. So have not scored a run yet in this game. So that puts them at 21 scoreless innings now. So that's not something you really want to see, especially this late in the season. We have a ground ball that chops over the shortstop's head. There's the first run of the game for you, the first Mustangs' first run in 21 innings, as I just said. So Mustangs take the lead on a ground ball base hit by Sherburne. So I believe they'll call that a base hit. And again, that took the hop that we saw in the previous half inning with the second baseman Wilcoxon trying to make that leaping play, but this time it goes in the Mustangs' favor as it hits the lip of the infield and over the shortstop Smith's head for the first run of this game, and that brings up the right fielder Zach Johnson to the plate. As taking off for second base is Sherburne, but a foul ball by Johnson brings to an 0-1 count. Johnson 1 for 1 on the night as he singled in the second inning. Mustangs weren't able to do anything with it as Sebastian came up after that and grounded out to the third baseman Mahoney. Matthew checks on Sherburne, over at first base, but back in time is Sherburne. Matthew checks on him again. The ball gets away from the first baseman, but no attempt to run by Sherburne. It doesn't trickle that far. Matthew seems to be getting a little wilder on his throws to first base, and see if that can't play to the Mustangs' advantage here. He's now set to deliver. Sherburne takes off for second base. A throw by Baker, not in time, so Sherburne safe at second base. For his sixth stolen base of the season so far. And that puts a 1-1 count as that was a ball in the dirt on Johnson. So runner in scoring position. See if Zach Johnson can't get his 16th RBI of the season. See if the Mustangs can't take that 2-0 lead. The swing and a miss there by Johnson brings it to a 1-2 count. So we got Mustangs Got Talent tonight. We got our fireworks spectacular just like we do every Saturday. So that's tomorrow night as the Mustangs take on the Ozark Generals here at Phil Wells Stadium. Sherburne takes off third, and a swing and a miss by Johnson. So there's strike number 3 for the final out here in the inning. But the Mustangs able to plate one, take the lead in the game. So after 4 innings, Mustangs have a 1-0 lead. We'll see if they can't keep the apartments off the board in the top of the 5th inning. All right, we're back here in the top half of the fifth innings. The Apartments head to the plate, sending the right fielder Jacob Dowell up there. Figueroa still on the hill, and that talent act was a little acrobatic duo, it seemed like, which is probably in the lead for first place now. It's definitely my pick, I would say, so far. Still plenty more acts to go. I believe that was just the fifth one, so halfway through the talent show portion of this evening. As Dowell fouls one off into the parking lot. I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but the winner of Mustangs Got Talent actually wins 2 GA season tickets for the 2015 season, so a lot at stake here. I believe it's about a $200 value, so pretty good prize for the winner of this one. So there's ball one in the dirt, brings it to a 1-1 count now. The swing and a miss there by Dow brings it to a 1-2 count. Dow 1 for 1 on the night as he singled back in the second inning, ended up having a stolen base to get to second, and ended up going to third on a pass ball, I believe. But that was as far as he made it, as the next batter, Zach Roberts, ended up flying out to Corper over at first base. Dow brings it to a 2-2 count. As he watches strike number 3 on a nice breaking piece. Hitting the outside corner for Figueroa. It's Figueroa's 4th strikeout of the night, all of them looking. So once he gets to 2 strikes, seems to have something that the hitters cannot figure out at all, is they just keep the bat on their shoulder for strike number 3. That brings up the Apartment center fielder, Zach Roberts, to the plate. Roberts watches ball number 1 go by just inside there. So Figueroa deals low for ball number 2. So I said tomorrow night the Mustangs back at Phil Welch Stadium taking on the Ozark Generals for a Mink League game. And again, we, just like every Saturday, have our fireworks spectacular, and we do the Saturday night jukebox as well, as we have a line drive into left center field. Not able to get through the gap, so Richard scoops it up for just to keep the batter at first base for a single. It's Roberts' first hit of the night, and that brings up the catcher Jake Baker, who struck out looking back in the third inning. So he's 0 for 1 on the night. As I said, we have our Saturday night jukebox tomorrow, and I believe it's one-hit wonders tomorrow night. So they'll be played throughout the game, and fireworks to one-hit wonders, so that should be fun. So we have a ground ball right back up the middle. Johnson scoops it up, flips over to Wilcoxon covering second, but no attempt for a double play, as Roberts was able to slide in there and break it up a little bit. So Mustangs get the lead runner at second base, but that keeps the man on first, as there was no attempt there. So Jake Baker on first now, with the shortstop Ethan Smith coming to the plate. Smith had his first plate appearance back in the third inning and ended up taking a walk on that one. Actually got thrown out at first base on the tail end of a double play by Zach Johnson. He watches ball number 1 go by. And as I sat there talking about fireworks, I got to bring up next week, as we will have fireworks 3 nights in a row for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July. So we have a ground ball in the right field, straight through the hole between first and second. So Johnson thought about making a throw at first base, but Smith just a little too quick. So no attempt there, and that brings us back to the top of the Apartments order, with the second baseman Pat Burns coming to the plate. And Sebastian goes to talk to the pitcher Figueroa. So saying we have fireworks next week on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of July. The 3rd, we take on the Van Johnson All-Stars. We're supposed to take the Military All-Stars, but unfortunately they had to cancel this year. But we do have, in place of that, we have Skydivers coming in. We have a Bald Eagle, so making a flight around the stadium, and fireworks to 1812 overture. So a nice patriotic salute on July 3rd as all veterans and active military get in free. So that should be a fun night. As Figueroa throws way inside there for ball number 2, brings to a 2-0 count. On July 4th, of course, we have fireworks as we celebrate Independence Day here at Phil Welch Stadium. As Figueroa hits the outside corner, brings it to a 2-1 count. And not only do we have fireworks that night, but we also have an apple pie eating contest. So baseball and apple pie. We have some hot dogs after the game, and we have a chopper to second base. Johnson scoops it up, slides his foot across second base for the final out in the inning. So the Apartments put 2 runners on, but not able to do anything with it. Mustangs keep that 1-0 lead. We head into the bottom half of the 5th. We're back with you here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Mustangs heading up to the plate, sending catcher Nick Sebastian up there. Sebastian 0 for 1 on the night as he grounded out to the third baseman Mahoney. I believe we actually have a pitching change for the Apartments as number 10 comes to the mound, Michael Heidi. So Alex Merriwether's, Merrithew's day is done. As Heidi deals ball number 2, bringing it to a 2-1 count now. As Heidi deals ball 3 in the dirt there. Bring it to 3-1. As Heidi deals ball 4 inside, bringing a walk for Sebastian there. So putting the leadoff runner on for the Mustangs is third baseman Josh Cassidy comes up to the plate. Cassidy sits 0 for 1 of the night. He struck out swinging the lead off the third inning. Heidi deals one in the dirt there for ball number 1. It's a deep fly ball into left field. The left fielder Arcabasso heading back makes the grab for the first out here in the inning. And that brings up the shortstop Matthew Johnson to the plate. I apologize for the blackouts. We have to change out batteries on the camera here. Be back up and running in just a few seconds. So we have it focused in now for you. Heidi deals his first pitch to Johnson there. Ball 1 in the dirt. So I was saying we have a patriotic 3 days coming up next week. I already went through July 3rd with you, but July 4th on Independence Day we have another spectacular fireworks show for you. Also the apple pie eating contest. So we have a fly ball down the first base line, and into the dugout it goes. As the first baseman Peterson tried to make a bit of a diving play on that one, going over the railing, but not able to come up with it. So that moves to a 1-1 count. But I really cannot think of a more patriotic 4th of July if you come out and partake in the apple pie eating contest, grab a few hot dogs at the ball game. You have hot dogs, apple pie, and America's pastime. Sounds like a fantastic way to celebrate, along with the great fireworks show. As Heidi deals ball number 2 there, just a bit high. Brings it to a 2-1 count. And then on July 5th, another fireworks show, just like every Saturday for you, as we also celebrate the 100th anniversary of World War I. So that should be a very fun night. I believe we might have the people from the Liberty Memorial. There's strike number 2 for you. So saying we have the people from the Liberty Memorial, I believe, coming up to participate in that. So World War I Museum, the only World War I or nationally recognized World War I museum in the United States, down in Kansas City. So that should be a very patriotic, fun-filled 3 days here at Phil Welch Stadium. So hopefully everybody can come out for that. But if you can't, I believe we'll have it all here for you on our YouTube channels. We do live broadcasts of every home game. There's ball 3 hit in the dirt, brings it to a full count now. We still have Mustangs Got Talent going on tonight. Is in between the top and the bottom of the inning. Got another dancing duo go out there. There's ball 4 to Johnson. So Heidi's second walk of the inning. We'll head back to the top of the Mustangs lineup with second baseman Eric Wilcoxon coming to the plate. Runners on first and second for him. So saying we got another dancing duo in between these half innings for the Mustangs Got Talent show. Seem to get a good reaction from the crowd, but again, it's all up to the press box people. See what they think about everybody. As it looks to bunt here for Wilcoxon down the third base line, but foul it goes for strike number 1. We're still waiting to see our first singing performance of the Mustangs Got Talent tonight, so hopefully we'll have some variety in it, as it's been mostly dancing and acrobatics all night long. See if we can't throw a singer up there to put a little change in it. Heidi delivers and hits the inside corner there, and a nice breaking piece brings it to an 0-2 count on Wilcoxon. Wilcoxon 0 for 2 on the night as he grounded out to Burns at second base and struck out swinging to end the third inning. See if he can't get his first hit of the night and drive in the Mustangs' second run of the game. So he has a little broken bat grounder over to second base. Burns flips over to the shortstop. Shortstop out at second base and tries to throw over to first base. Ball gets past Peterson at first base, so that means that Sebastian ends up coming all the way around to score on that play. As Johnson was out at second base when Burns flipped over to Smith covering the bag. Smith with an errant throw over to the first baseman Peterson. So it got by him and all the way to the dugout. So Sebastian came all the way around to score, giving the Mustangs a 2-0 lead. Then Wilcox was able to take second base on that one. So runner on second base now with the left fielder Kyle Richards coming to the plate. Richards sits at 1 for 2 on the night. Had a fly out to center field in the first inning, and ended up having a single in the fourth. As Wilcoxon takes off for third, and they throw late hitting there, so Wilcoxon steals third base on that one. Puts the Mustangs' third run of this ball game just 90 feet away from home, as that was strike one on Richards. So saying Richards singled in the fourth inning and ended up coming around to score the Mustangs' first run of the game. There's a big breaking ball there by Heidi, ends up falling in for a strike, bringing it to an 0-2 count. Apparently the horse girl in left field thought Wilcoxon was out at third base because before that pitch she started doing her run around the warning track. Ended up turning around to just a few signs out there. We have a fly ball down the first base line. The first baseman Peterson settles under it, makes the grab for the final out here in the fifth inning, but the Mustangs still able to plate one in this inning. And they head to the top half of the sixth with the Mustangs having that 2-0 lead. We're back here in the top half of the sixth inning. Mustangs have that 2-0 lead as they brought one across in the fourth and the fifth. The Apartments coming up to the plate with the left fielder Connor Arcabasso coming to the plate. Feel like I'm starting to get a little better at saying that name. Fortunately. Arcabasso 0 for 2 on the night as he has a fly out and a ground out. Another ground ball over to Johnson at shortstop, able to make the grab and throw over to Corporate first for the first out here in the inning. Tough play for Johnson over there at short as it bounced off the lip and ended up just dying there. So he was able to scoop it up and make the play still as the designated hitter for the Apartments, Matt Stacks, comes to the plate. Stacks 1 for 1 on the night. Is a walk in the first inning and ended up having a single in the fourth. So you watch his strike number 1 and a good fastball by Figueroa. Figueroa deals high there, bringing it to a 1-1 count. Figueroa deals high yet again, brings it to a 2-1 count. Figueroa dealing low on that one. Going to the other end of the spectrum, bring it to a 3-1 count. Figueroa's gone 5 strong here tonight. He's allowed a few hits, but nothing across that scoreboard yet, or across the plate yet. He deals ball number 4, just inside. Stack's second walk of the night. That brings up the first baseman Blake Peterson to the plate. Peterson 0 for 2 on the night. So he has a fly out to Zach Johnson right and ends up striking out looking back in the fourth inning. Figueroa deals outside there for ball number 1. Sebastian heading out to talk to him now. He tries to settle him down a little bit. Sebastian squats back down behind the plate, and Figueroa now set to deal. As Stacks takes off for second base, Sebastian throws on down to Wilcoxon covering, and in time is the throw. But safe is the call as Wilcoxon swiped across and looked like he got Stacks, and Stacks ended up going past the bag on that one. But safe is still the call from the umpire. Can't really argue with him. You figure he has a better eye line or sight line than we do up here in the booth. So a stolen base for Stacks as Figueroa now throws just hitting the outside corner for a 2-1 count on the batter Peterson. As Figueroa checks on Stacks at second base. But back in time to Stacks with Johnson covering on that. Stacks takes off for third base, and a line drive into center field. Abernathy grabs it, throws on over to Wilcoxon covering second base to double off Stacks at second. So the Mustangs' second double play of this ball game ends the top of the sixth inning. So they still have that 2-0 lead, and we'll see if they can put some more on the board in the bottom half of the sixth. And we're back with you here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Mustangs have that 2-0 lead still. So they send up the center fielder Ryan Abernathy to the plate. We also have a pitching change for the Apartments as Michael Heidi's day is done. Through just that fifth inning, ended up allowing one run in and had a couple walks in that one. They bring in number 27 to throw, Bryce Bentley. So we'll see what Abernathy can do off of Bentley here. He deals high there for ball number one. We have a fly ball into center field. Roberts able to make the grab on that one with a running grab there for the first out in the inning. That sends up the first baseman Joe Corper to the plate. Corper sits at 1 for 2 on the night. He had a single to lead off the second inning, ended up grounding out to the second baseman Burns back in the fourth inning. Corper looked like he thought about swinging, held back, but still a strike. As Bentley throws in a nice breaking ball there, so an 0-1 count on Corper. So Corper holds back on that one, but another strike, says the umpire, so an 0-2 count on Corper. Bentley deals a fly ball into right field, but Dow able to settle under it, makes the grab here for out number two. And the designated hitter now coming up to the plate, Mike Sherburne. Sherburne 1 for 2 on the night as he has a single back in the fourth inning, ended up driving in the Mustangs' first run of the game as Richards came around to score on that single. So he watches ball number one low, kind of at the feet there. Many fans still hanging around as we have a beautiful night for baseball. Sherburne grounds over to the third baseman, Mahoney on the play, able to make the throw on over to Peterson at first for the final out here in the sixth inning. Mustangs not able to do anything here as they go down 1-2-3, but still have that 2-0 lead. And we see what the Apartments can do in the top half of the seventh. I'm just kidding. Please don't leave. You broke the chair. Come on, man. That's ridiculous. We're back with you here in the top half of the seventh inning. Mustangs still have that 2-0 lead and end up having Jeremiah Figueroa's day is done, who threw 6 innings tonight, allowing 4 hits, no earned runs, had a few walks and 4 strikeouts. They bring in number 25, Redmond Floyd, to pitch. He throws ball 1 there to the Apartment's third baseman, Tim Mahoney. Hitting the outside corner there brings it to a 1-1 count. Floyd's appeared in 2 games so far this year, thrown just 2 2/3 of an inning. Has 3 strikeouts and has not allowed a run yet this year. So look to maintain that as the Mustangs have a slim 2-0 lead. That ball bounces away from the catcher there, off his glove, for a 2-1 count now. As Mahoney fouls one back behind the stands here. As there's ball 3 in the dirt, brings it to a full count now. So full count on Mahoney as Floyd set to deliver here, and a fly ball into right field. Johnson drifts over, settles under it, and makes the grab there for the first out in the inning. And that brings up the right fielder for the Apartments, Jacob Dow. Dow sits at 1 for 2 on the night as he singled back in the second inning. Ended up striking out looking in the 5th as he watches strike number 1 go by there. So we have a ground ball over to Wilcox in second base, able to make the scoop. Throws it over to Corper for first for the second out here in the 7th inning. And that brings up the center fielder, Zach Roberts, to the plate. Roberts sits also at 1 for 2 on the night. He had that little fly ball to Corper in the second inning, ended up having that single in the 5th. See what Floyd can do against him here as he deals ball 1 in the dirt. We have a line drive into right field, shallow right field as it falls between Wilcoxon and Johnson, making the charges for it. So there's a single for Roberts. That ball fell just in front of Johnson there and brings up the catcher, Jake Baker, to the plate. Baker 0 for 2 on the night as he struck out looking to lead off the third inning, and ended up grounding into a fielder's choice in the 5th. Hopefully Floyd can have him remain hitless on the night. Oh, actually have a pinch hitter coming into the game for Baker. Ends up being number 19, Austin Kochmeyer. Floyd deals ball number 1 in the dirt there. Brings it to a 1-1 count. There's ball number 2, high and outside. So Sebastian heads on out to talk to Floyd. See if he can't calm him down a little bit. Floyd now set here. See what he can throw against Koshmeyer. The runner takes off for second base. Sebastian throws on down. Johnson covering the throw, not in time, as Roberts is safe at second base. That was strike number 2 on Kochmeyer, though, so that brings it to a 2-2 count as Sebastian again jogs on out to talk to Floyd. See if you never really know what they're saying in a mound visit. You figure after a strike they might be talking strategy. Maybe if that pitch was a ball, he might be trying to take his mind off the game a little bit. Floyd delivers and just low there. Brings it to a full count now at 3-2. Still 2 away here. That runner standing on second base. As we walk the batter there, so Kochmeyer ends up on first base. And the shortstop for the Apartments, Ethan Smith, coming up to the plate. As Matthew Johnson jogs in from shortstop to talk to Floyd before this batter here. So we got runners on first and second now. Smith coming to the plate. Smith 1 for 1 on the night. So he has a walk in the third inning and had that single back in the fifth. So I apologize. We actually have another pinch hitter for the Apartments. As Ethan Smith is out of this game and Luis Penner is coming up to the plate. Floyd delivers on the 1-0 count now. Actually steps off the mound. Now he's set to deliver. He deals a fastball in there for strike number 1, brings it to a 1-1 count on Penner. Deals a swing and a miss there for Penner, brings it to a 1-2 count. As Floyd looks to get out of this jam here. Maintain that 2-0 lead for the Mustangs. As he just misses on that one for ball number 2. Looked like it might have been in there for a strike. Apparently a little high for the umpire's taste, so it brings it to a 2-2 count now. Floyd deals and a swing and a miss by Penner for strike number 3. Floyd sets him down swing, so the Apartment's able to put a couple on. We'll head into or not able to do anything with it, but we'll head into the 7th inning stretch with the Mustangs still up 2-0. Mom. We're back here in the bottom half of the 7th inning as the fans start to settle down after a fun YMCA dance for them. So they always enjoy that one. It's always fun to see. Mustangs coming up to the plate with a 2-0 lead as they send up right fielder Zach Johnson. And another pitching change for the Apartments as Bryce Bentley's day is done. He threw just that 6th inning. Ended up having him go 1-2-3 in that one, so I don't know why his day is done, but they end up sending in number 6, Luke Temporelli, to pitch now. So we'll see what Johnson can do off of him. As Temporelli deals ball number 1 there. Kind of an interesting pitching change. I don't know why you take out a guy who sat down the side in order. But again, I'm not a manager of a baseball team, so can't really speak to that as Johnson fouls one off into the left field concourse area. Brings it to a 1-1 count. Between the 6th and 7th innings, we actually had the winners of the Mustangs Got Talent portion of tonight announced, and ended up being the, watch this pitch, there's ball number 2, ended up being the dance troupe that had 2 tries at it, as the first time they went out had some technical difficulties with the music, and ended up going out there a second time and winning the whole thing. So 2 tries is the charm for them, as Johnson has one deep into left field. The left fielder Arcabasso settles under it, makes the grab on that one for the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. As we send up the catcher Nick Sebastian to the plate. Sebastian sits at 0 for 1 on the night as he grounded out to the third baseman Mahoney in the 2nd inning, ended up walking and then eventually coming around to score in the 5th inning. Scored the Mustangs' 2nd run of the ball game in that one, in that inning. Temporarily deals, and there's strike number 1 on a nice little slider for him. Brings to an 0-1 count. There's a ball in the dirt there, bring to a 1-1 count. Temporarily now deals, and a ground ball down the third base line. Just foul there as it heads to the left side of that third base bag. So there's just another strike for Sebastian as that brings it to a 1-2 count now. As Temporarily deals outside there, evens the count at 2s. And a swing and a miss by Sebastian. Ends up getting away from the catcher and over to first base, and not in time to the throw as that scoots away from the first baseman Peterson and into right field. So Sebastian on a strikeout is safe at first. On that drop third strike by Baker. Well, ends up going into right field on the throw. And the Mustangs' third baseman Josh Cassidy now comes to the plate. Cassidy 0 for 2 on the night. He's got a strikeout and a fly out. He watches ball number 1 a little low there. Temporarily checks on Sebastian at first base, but back in time to Sebastian as he wasn't even taking that big of a lead. And Not really sure why they'd be too worried about him. He doesn't have a stolen base on the season so far, although he's played just a few games for the Mustangs. But they check swing from Cassidy, brings it to a 2-0 count. But Sebastian is also a catcher, and it really takes a wear and tear on your knees. So it may not be the quickest base runner, so might be wasted efforts, I believe, to check on him at first base. So, but Temporelli does it again. It's Sebastian back in time. You got a ground ball down to third base. The third baseman Mahoney over to second base. Burns covering the bag, so able to get that lead runner, but not able to make an attempt for a double play as Sebastian with a hard slide into second breaks up the double play. So Cassidy safe at first on that fielder's choice. And the 9-hole hitter for the Mustangs, shortstop Matthew Johnson, coming up to the plate. Johnson sits at 0 for 1 on the night as he grounded out to the shortstop Smith back in the third inning. Ended up having a walk in the fifth. Takes a long look at third base coach Matthew Johnson to see what he's supposed to do here. Don't know if they're going to try something risky with 2 outs here and just a 2-run lead, but we'll see what they do. As Temporelli throws in the inside there for ball number 1. Temporelli now set to deal here. A little blooper to the second baseman. Burns stays on the infield, and the catch is made for the final out here in the 7th inning. So the Mustangs able to put a couple runners on, but not able to do anything with it, but still have that 2-0 lead as we head into the top half of the 8th. We're back here in the top half of the 8th inning with Redmond Floyd's day being done here as he throws just that 7th inning, allows a hit, but no runs in that inning as he has a strikeout and a walk as well. So still a 2-0 lead for the Mustangs as they send number 19 Jamie Lovelace to the mound. With the top of the order for the Apartments coming to the plate, and second baseman Pat Burns as he looks to lay down a bunt but pulls it back, but still called a strike. So an 0-1 count on Burns as he's 0 for 3 on the night. A couple flyouts and grounded out to a fielder's choice, or had a fielder's choice back in the 5th innings. He watches strike number 2 go by. Lovelace pitched in just 2 games so far this year, has 1 save, a couple strikeouts, and few earned runs. He has a 6.75 ERA, just 5 in the 3rd pitch so far this year. So he's looking to lower that one as the Mustangs, I said, just have that slim 2-0 lead. He deals ball number 2 there, brings it to a 2-2 count. The foul ball from Burns there, back to the fence. So 2-2 count on Burns. As Lovelace deals inside there, bring it to a full count at 3-2. The swing and a miss by Burns sets him down on strikes for the first out here in the 8th inning. That brings up the left fielder for the Apartments, Connor Arcabasso. Arcabasso 0 for 3 on the night. So he has a couple ground outs and a fly out to the first baseman Joe Corper in the first inning. As he watches ball number 1 go by. There's ball number 2 in the dirt, brings it to a 2-0 count. Lovelace now delivers here. A 2-0 count. We have a line drive over Corper's head into right field. Johnson scoops it up, throws over to Corper first. And not in time. Just a step behind was the throw. So Johnson almost able to get the runner out at first from right field. But the throw just barely behind him as Arcabasso is safe at first base with the single. And that brings up the designated hitter Matt Stacks to the plate. Stacks 1 for 1 on the night. He's got a couple walks as well. See if the Apartments try something and send Arcabasso. Not yet, as Stacks watches strike number 1 go by. Arcabasso with a good lead off first as Lovelace notices and throws over there. But Arcabasso back in time. Lovelace now set to deliver. Whoop, checks on Arcabasso yet again. So still an 0-1 count now on Stacks as Lovelace has checked on Arcabasso a couple times. And Lovelace deals high there for ball number 1. Lovelace delivers and a check swing from Stacks goes around, brings it to a 1-2 count now. Lovelace looks to get his second strikeout of this inning, his 4th on the season. There's a foul tip right back to the netting. Keeps it at a 1-2 count. The St. Joe squad looks to retire Stacks for the first time in this game. As I said, he's got a couple walks and a single and 3 plate appearances. Lovelace delivers just a bit low there, brings it to a 2-2 count. Lovelace checks on Arcabasso yet again. Arcabasso back in time. He goes sliding in there. Lovelace now delivers, and just below, Arcabasso takes off for second base. Sebastian throws on down, Not in time is the throw as Arcabasso in there standing. Bit of a wild pitch there from Lovelace, but Sebastian was able to block it. Couldn't find it right away, so Arcabasso able to steal second base on the play. And it brings it to a full count on Stacks now. Lovelace delivers here. A high fly ball into foul territory now as it heads to the stands down the third base line. Be a souvenir for one lucky fan over there. Then Sebastian heads out to talk to Lovelace, try and calm him down a little bit, take his mind off the situation. Mustangs hanging on to that narrow 2-0 lead. So we don't want to see the Apartments get something going. You got to lock the Apartments. As there is strike number 3 on Stacks. He didn't think so, but the umpire says so, and that's the one we listened to. As Lovelace deals a good one in there for strike number 3, his second strikeout in this inning. And that brings up the first baseman, Blake Peterson, to the plate. As Lovelace deals high there for ball number 1. Peterson 0 for 3 on the night. He's got a couple flyouts and struck out looking back in the 4th inning. As Lovelace thinks about checking on Arcabasso, but nobody there to cover, so no throw from Lovelace. As Lovelace throws one low in there for ball number 2. Brings it to a 2-0 count. Lovelace deals, and there's outside for ball number 3. Brings it to a 3-1 count now. As Lovelace tries to lock up the Apartments. There's high for ball number 4. So there's a walk on Peterson. That brings up the third baseman, Tim Mahoney, to the plate. So runners on first and second for the Apartments now. As Lovelace looks to check on Arcabasso at second. No throw, though. Mahoney 0 for 3 on the night. Also has a couple flyouts and a strikeout back in the second inning. As he watches strike number 1 there. So Lovelace delivers and just misses the outside corner for ball number 1. Into a 1-1 count. He deals just low yet again, brings it to a 2-1 count. So Lovelace still trying to close the door on the Apartments. The swing and a miss there from Mahoney brings it to a 2-2 count. As Mahoney thought about swinging there, but does not go, says the umpire. A ball in the dirt, so it brings the count to full now at 3-2. Still 2 away here in the top of the 8th. The Mustangs hold on to that 2-0 lead. Runners on first and second for the Apartments. They both take off, and a swing and a miss by Mahoney sets it down on strikes for the third out here in the inning. Lovelace strikes out the side in this 8th inning, and we head to the bottom half of the 8th. Mustangs still hold on to that 2-0 lead. We're back here in the bottom half of the 8th inning as Mustangs head to bat with the top of the lineup coming up. Second baseman Eric Wilcoxon, who is 0 for 3 on the night. But he did reach base on an error back in the 5th inning. Ended up going all the way around to third, but Kyle Richards ended up flying out to the first baseman Peterson to end that inning. Nothing done there as Wilcoxon looks to bunt, pulls it back. There's ball number 1. There's a new pitcher in the game for the Apartments, as Luke Temporelli has done. Just pitched that 1 inning. Allowed a couple base runners as pitcher hits Wilcoxon to put the lead runner on for the Mustangs. It looks like the new pitcher is number 28. And unfortunately, I don't have a 28 on the roster I have with me, so I don't know his name. It's never a good thing. Not good when somebody gives you the wrong roster, but it's just what I'll go with, and we'll call the new guy Smith. As Smith checks on Wilcoxon. Wilcoxon was back in time as the new batter for the Mustangs, Kyle Richards, comes to the plate. Richards 1 for 3 on the night. It's a fastball just outside there for ball number 1. Smith checks on Wilcoxon over at first base, but back in time yet again is Wilcoxon. Wilcoxon with just 2 stolen bases so far on the year. Maybe not the biggest threat for the Mustangs to steal, but still a threat nonetheless, as Richards watched strike number 1 go by, brings it to a 1-1 count. Pitcher checks on Wilcoxon over there at first base, but again, back in time is Wilcoxon. A swing and a miss by Richards brings it to a 1-2 count. As I said, Richards 1 for 3 on the night, ended up coming around to score the Mustangs' first run of the game back in the 4th inning. The Mustangs have that just 2-0 lead. Looking to add to it here is pitcher now set to deliver. Wilcoxon takes off for second. A swing and a miss by Richards, and a throw down in time by Kochmeyer over to the second baseman Burns. So Wilcoxon thrown at second on a strike him out, throw him out double play. Very unfortunate for the Mustangs. As they look to put some insurance runs on the board, but not yet, says the catcher Kochmeyer as he throws on down and gets Wilcoxon to second base. So 2 away now for the Mustangs as Ryan Abernathy, the center fielder, comes up to the plate. Watches ball number 1 just low there. Abernathy 0 for 3 on the night. He's got a couple ground outs and a fly out. Watches ball number 2 hit the dirt there, so it brings it to a 2-0 count. Abernathy stepping out of the box a little bit, taking a little bit of time before this next pitch. So he sits on this 2-0 count. Now time called again as Kochmeyer heads out to talk to the pitcher. Abernathy watches ball number 3 go by there, so a 3-0 count now. Got to imagine Abernathy not swinging on this one. As he did think about it looked like, because that was a strike, but he holds back, so 3-1 count now. As Abernathy watches strike 2 hit the corner, he didn't think so as he started walking towards first there, but the umpire disagreed with him, so brings it to a full count now as the pitcher battled back from that 3-0 start on Abernathy. As there's ball number 4 in the dirt, so Abernathy walks here. His first time reaching base, and brings up the first baseman Joe Corper to the plate. Gotta imagine this is Abernathy's first time reaching base, so you could see him taking off as he does have 10 steals so far this year. Corper sits at 1 for 3 on the night. He did single to lead off the second inning. Abernathy does take off, and the throw not in time as Abernathy safe at second base for his 11th stolen base of the season. So that puts a runner in scoring position as Corper does have 9 RBIs on the season. So looking to finally reach that double-digit mark and drive in Abernathy for the Mustangs' third run of this ballgame. Corper thought about swinging there, holds back, but it was a strike, says the umpire. So an 0-2 count now on Corper. As the pitcher looks in, now set to deliver here, Corper. A swing and a miss by Corper ends the 8th inning here as he is set down on strikes. So the Mustangs not able to put any up in the 8th inning, but we'll head to the top of the 9th as they lead 2-0. I can imagine we'll see Brett Ash come in to try and close this one out. We're back with you in the top half of the 9th inning as the Mustangs look to close out this 2-0 win. And a new pitcher for the Mustangs. They send in Grant Gavin for the save. Gavin has 1 win on the season. He's thrown 14 in the third innings, 19 strikeouts for a .62 ERA. He's thrown in 9 games so far this year. He deals just inside there, bringing it to a 1-0 count. As the Apartments send up the right fielder Jacob Dowell to the plate. Dowell 1 for 3 on the night as he singled back in the 2nd inning. Watches strike number 1 on a nice breaking ball, hitting the inside corner for a 1-1 count now. We have a little line drive just past a diving Wilcoxon, but Johnson throws in, and out at first base is the runner Dowell as Johnson comes charging in on a ball just past a diving Wilcoxon and able to throw him out at first base, as we've seen many times this year. It's a play you don't see that often, but for the Mustangs fans, you see it quite often, as Johnson is quick in right field, and he always comes charging in and making that throw. So a fantastic play for the first out here in the top half of the 9th, and the Apartments sending up Zach Roberts to the plate. So you watch a strike number 1 hit the inside corner. Roberts 2 for 3 on the night. Got a couple of singles in the 5th and 7th innings respectively. As Gavin delivers, and just a bit high there and inside as the batter Roberts has to kind of dive away from that one. As a fly ball into right field, Johnson running over and makes the grab in right field just at the line for the 2nd out in this inning. So 2 up, 2 down as the Mustangs now just 1 out away from getting their 20th win on the season. The Apartments send up the next batter in the order, Austin Koschmeyer. Koschmeyer. Koschmeyer pinch hit for Baker back in the 7th inning. Ended up getting a walk in that one as the fouls went back to the netting here. So an 0-1 count on Koschmeyer. This is a line drive just past Wilcoxon into right field. So a single by Koschmeyer. As that one was hard hit and ended up taking a hop just at Wilcoxon's feet, and it bounced into right field for that single. Now the shortstop, Lewis Penner, comes up to the plate. Penner came in to hit for Ethan Smith back in the 7th and ended up striking out swinging back then, or in his first plate appearance tonight. As Gavin deals just low there for ball number 1. Just missing a little bit low there on a nice fastball by Gavin. So that's a 2-0 count now on Penner. Mustangs look to close out this one. There's ball number 3. Bring it to a 3-0 count. Mustangs close out this one. It'll be their, I believe, 197th win of the 6-year history of the Mustangs. So closing in on that 200 number. As there's a strike. We have a line drive just past Johnson at shortstop and into center field. So there is runners on first and second now with 2 away here in the top half of the 9th, and back to the top half of the order for the Apartments with second baseman Pat Burns coming to the plate. Burns sits at 0 for 4 on the night as he has had a couple flyouts, ended up grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 5th inning and striking out swinging in the 8th. Runner thinks about going for third, ends up getting caught in a bit of a pickle there, hesitating, and out at third base is the runner Koschmeyer. So the final out of this ball game as the Mustangs take home a 2-0 win against the North Kansas City Apartments tonight. And we'll see if we stick around for the Eagle Radio Player of the Game in just a few moments here. So the Mustangs get back to their winning ways after dropping one Wednesday and Thursday. They win 2-0 here against the North Kansas City Apartments. And I'm betting that the player of the game tonight is going to be Mike Sherburne. We'll see. That's my guess. We'll see who it actually is. As we have Kelly Shipp down there with the post-game interview, trying to grab the player of the game out of this lineup. Actually looks like the Eagle Radio player of the game is going to be Zach Johnson tonight. That's who Kelly pulled out of the lineup down there. So we'll listen into his post-game interview here.
The Eagle Radio player of the game here tonight. Tonight's Eagle Radio player of the game is Zach Johnson. This team had no over 24 games until the 4th inning tonight. What's the importance of getting that first run?
Today is, today's guy, stuff happens, keep our head down and stay with the course, and stuff like that.
Or you get 2 out of the system like that, come on the season. We have absolute chance how important are those in games to have that level?
I think it definitely brings some momentum on our side, and defensively, so that we're looking for the next opportunity to play.
Thank you.
So there you have it, Eagle Radio player of the game, Zach Johnson. He went 1 for 3 tonight, but had that impressive throw from right field to get Jacob Dowell for the first out in the 9th inning. So the Mustangs end up taking home a 2-0 victory tonight. They will be back at Philwell Stadium to take on the Ozark Generals in a Mink League game tomorrow night. We'll have fireworks after the game, and hopefully you can come on out and enjoy some baseball action here at Philwell Stadium. But if not, we hope that you tune into our YouTube broadcast as we bring you every home game live. So again, the Mustangs take home a 2-0 winner, move to 20-8 on the season, still remain at 13-7 in league play, as this was an exhibition game, and we'll be taking on the Mink League opponent Ozark Generals tomorrow night, and hope everyone has a fantastic night.